So when we shifted timelines, basically, a lot of things happen. Let me explain what I mean by that. I got this download from my spirit guides that April 8th of this year, we went on a major journey of 1 minute I'm in one dimension, now we all shifted to this other timeline. There have been what I would call dark entities, non-terrestrial beings from other areas of the universe that have come in and tried to steer us. I call them the hackers. They tried to steer us in the direction of a negative, lower level timeline. However, the good guys, the Galactic Federation, I guess some call them, said, nope, that's not allowed. And they basically came in, and it's not like they're fixing everything for us. They're trying to help get us back in balance, right? I mean, we have literally been lied to, misled. There's just things that we should have access to that we don't. So the Galactic Federation gave these groups and even governments a certain amount of time to basically come clean and get your crap together. And if you don't do it by this period of time, we're going to step in, period. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Well, they did. They stepped in. And my point is, we have shifted timelines. So everything is coming to a head. I know it looks like the world is in chaos, but what it is the world is in, look at it as a shake-up. You want to shake something up to cleanse the energy. The flood of 2016 in Baton Rouge, believe it or not, was not a bad thing. We needed a cleansing. This place is crazy sometimes. That water, that energy, it cleansed what we needed it to cleanse. Now, I'm not saying it was great how everybody lost everything, but I feel like a lot of people were affected in the ways they needed to be affected, even if it was over material things. Don't take that the wrong way or go too deep or be a Karen about it, please. I think you understand what I'm saying. And if you don't, it doesn't matter. But my point is that we are in this period of time of cleanse. It's cleanse. That's why the flooding and all of that you see, that is, I don't want to go too deep in that because then people will take that the wrong way. But I'll just say this. We are at this convergence. We are going into a healing period. We are going to have some calm. We are going to have peace as much as you allow in your life, you know what I mean? But my point is, we're not going to, we have help. The waves, they look like flares. They look like ripple waves of energy coming in from these higher groups, is to help get us to where we need to be. It's to help stimulate your pineal gland and your chakra system. And to sum it up, is to wake people up. You cannot get on TV and tell people they need to wake up, because they'll be like, F you, I am awake. You have to go through certain experiences or witness certain things. We're visual beings too, right? For your belief system to shift. You can't just expect people to believe what you say. Like, they have to shift their beliefs for us to have come together collectively to move us to this new timeline. Well, the good thing is we had enough people. It's like saying if you have 51% of the population finally come together and wake up, we're good. We get to move to the new timeline. So we're going to rally around them. We need 51%. And it happened. And, you know, since 2020, I've seen some things I never thought I'd see, with people that were like walking around pretty sound asleep. And now they're very much awake to what's going on. And what I mean by awake is fully aware of truths and things that we've been told and taught. Let me say it a different way. Everybody has a lie detector. That gut feeling you get when something's off, you should always trust it. It is your internal lie detector. It does not lie. It does not mislead. Now, however, there are times when someone has a very, very strong belief system. For example, somebody tied into religion, really, really structured, right? They're in this religion, and that's the only way. The only way to heaven is through Jesus. Which is why I always ask the question, how did people get to heaven before Jesus was born? These are just questions that come to my head, like that I think about. But there's in this structured belief system that there's no other way. Well, that limits a person. And I'm not trying to say don't be part of your religion. Everything has good qualities. Everything has bad qualities. It can go good or bad is what I mean. It's what you make of it, right? I have met some Christian people who are absolutely beautiful. Miss Myrtle comes to my mind. One of the most beautiful souls I've ever met. Prayed the rosary every day. She was Catholic and then very Catholic and then Catholic on top of Catholic, and one of the kindest souls I've ever met. She had this gift of making you feel like you were the most important person in the room or in her world. And she made everybody feel that way, and that is not something you can teach. She was a Christian who was living, I feel like, the way that Christians should be living, right? Practicing the basic tenets. But then you have others that are using Bible verses to judge people. And I always say, if you use any book to judge someone, you need to get another book. That's not how it should be. If you're throwing Bible verses out there to judge someone or make yourself feel better or superior or whatever, but if you're using anything to judge someone when it has to do with religion, that's not okay. If someone's teaching you something in a fear-based way, that's not okay. And that includes anyone. You should question everything. That includes me. Question me. When I say question me, that means keep an open mind. Don't be a blind follower. Be an independent thinker is what I'm trying to get at. When someone is really tied into a certain belief system or groups, you end up with what's called a hook in your aura. It hooks into your chakras. And it's kind of like keeps you from being an independent thinker because you're part of this hive mind is what I'm trying to explain. The less attachments you have, the better off you are. I don't have any attachments to anything, really. When I think about like any groups or religions or anything, I don't have any of that. I used to, but I outgrew it. The fear-based teachings just didn't resonate. Every time they'd say, sinner this, sinner that, you're going to hell for this and that, I'm like, this doesn't even feel good. What feels good is when they say, be kind and be like Jesus, right? He's a way shower. Live like him. You don't have to worship him. That's not what he wants. That's not why he was here. He was here to teach us how to live. But throwing Bible verses in people's face to judge them, that's terrible. And it's everybody's path, while I'm on this soapbox, so to say, everybody's path is their path. If someone is not exactly like you, they're not supposed to be, y'all. This is a very diverse trauma school we're in. If somebody, let me use the example of somebody that's transgender, whatever the right term is, but I'm using transgender. Do y'all know that is one of the hardest, if not the hardest, path to walk on earth, but yet these people are condemned? Like condemned. And here's the thing, if you don't like it, if it creeps you out, if you don't understand it, you don't have to be mean. You're not helping anyone or anything by being mean. You're not helping us collectively by being mean. If you can do something that's helpful, just either don't say anything at all or don't be a bully. And I'm really serious about that. And I did a group years ago, and I talked about, so there was this man that had transitioned to female. She was at a family function or something, but she shot herself in front of her family. And it was horrible. But I was talking about this in the group, and I said, I want to pause, and I want to give everybody the opportunity to ask questions. Not that I'm a master on this, but I'm channeling, so I can find out anything you want to know. But I want to give the opportunity for us to discuss this subject and ask questions or whatever. And this girl says, why do you think he was born with the wrong body? Meaning, why was he born male, if he felt female? And I said, he wasn't born with the wrong body. This was part of his blueprint. This was something he chose on a soul level to go through for expansion and his own evolution. Not everything's black and white. Not everything's female and male. Not everything's just straight. There's gay people. There's in between. There's all levels of sexuality. What do they call it? The Kinsey scale. You're either really, really straight or really, really gay, but 98% of the population is right down the middle. The thing is, we're not in that old age of Pisces energy anymore, where we're supposed to walk, where we're never supposed to, but where you can just walk around judging everything and not feel the consequences of that. And I mean you personally, not other people. When you harshly judge something, you're actually not hurting anyone but you. You're hurting your own energy field. Your energy field is suffering because of the low frequency you're sending out through your judgment. I tend to think people only judge what they either fear or they don't understand. Because, again, somebody that's transgender, and I'm not a master on this, I don't have all the answers. I mean, I hope I don't offend anybody that's transgender by talking about this, but I want to talk about it because it's a subject, it's where I see the most judgment, the bigotry that comes with it. Can you imagine, just for a second, and I'm being serious, can you imagine being born a female and on the inside you feel like a male? Now, that's not easy. It's not easy. And remember, sexuality and gender are two different things, right? Sexuality is sexuality. You're gay, straight, whatever you want to call yourself, if you want to use a label. Gender's different. Genders, I identify as a male or female. Well, those that are male and feel male don't know that there's any difference. So the whole idea of trying to wrap your head around that being a thing, meaning that how can you be female and feel male? Well, the fact is you're not walking that path, so you're not going to understand the path. But so why would you judge the path? You see what I'm saying? Why not learn about what, and I'm saying you, I mean this for all of us. Why not ask questions and learn? It's really hard not to like someone when they're up in your face being personal, having a personal conversation, and they're a nice human being. It's really easy to judge someone when you're judging behind a keyboard or judging based on a label. This, you know what I'm saying? And that applies to anyone in every situation. Like, it's when you sit with someone and they're a nice, compassionate, nice human being, do you really care what they identify as? They can identify as a rock, a fairy, a statue, a tree, or whatever. But you see what I'm saying? Do you even care? No. You just like that they're a nice human being. But the fact is, people don't give people a chance. It's just, yeah,